2.3, we're looking at reference and coterminal angles. So first, let's start with reference angles. So reference angles are the angle between the terminal side of the angle and the x-axis. So last lesson we practiced sketching an angle. So this angle here was sketched, and this part of it, this ray that we draw, that is the terminal side. Now, to find your reference angle, we go from that angle to the x-axis. And whatever that difference is there is our reference angle. So, here's how you can find your reference angle depending on what quadrant you're in. You'll notice quadrant 1 isn't here because the reference angle is always the angle you start with, unless it goes over 360 degrees. But for the most part, that's what we use. So for quadrant 2, you take 180 or pi, subtract the angle that you were given, and that gives you your reference angle. So this reference angle. In quadrant 3, you take the angle you started with and subtract 180 or pi to get your reference angle. And then in quadrant 4, you take 360 or 2 pi and you subtract the angle you started with, and that gives you that reference angle. So I strongly encourage you to write all of these down if you have not already. So, find the reference angle. So here we were given 150, so we are in quadrant 2. So to find our reference angle, we go to our x-axis. That's the angle we're looking for. And because we're in degrees, we take 180 degrees minus 150 degrees. And that gives us 30 degrees. Now, we are only working with positive angles. So if you get a negative answer, that's a hint that you did the wrong thing. So now find the reference angle. In this one, we're in quadrant 3. So it's like we're going backwards. We take the angle that we started with, which is 240 degrees, and we subtract 180 degrees. And the reason I'm subtracting 180 is because right here, that is 180 degrees. So we're finding the difference there. And when we do that, we should get 60 degrees. And that is our reference angle. All right, so now we're going to look at coterminal angles. So coterminal angles, they're angles that are in the same place, like when we put them on the chart or when we draw them or sketch them, but they have different degree measures. So we find them by either adding 360 degrees or in radians 2 pi. So for example, are these two coterminal angles? Why not? So we're going to start with 50, since we're in degrees. 50 degrees plus 360 degrees is 410 degrees. So yes, they are coterminal. And once again, that's because when we added 360 to 50, we get that 410. find two positive coterminal angles. So if we want to find a coterminal angle, we add 2 pi. Now you could convert to degrees and then convert back to radians, or you could just add 7/9 and 2. So how I would do that in my calculator. Okay. And so fraction 7/9 plus 2 would equal 25 pi over 9. So that is one positive coterminal angle. Another positive coterminal angle, we would take that 25 pi over 9 and add another 2 pi. So 25/9 plus 2 43/9, and don't forget the pi. So that is reference angles and coterminal angles.